Then he moved to Mecosta County, which would have been probably 60 miles north of where he was living in Stanton. And he bought 120 acres of land from a gentleman who was one of the biggest lumber barons in Michigan. He later owned the United States Steamship Company. And this guy lived in Saginaw. Grandpa bought, my mother's grandfather, bought 120 acres and paid, prior to 1900, he paid $2,000 for about 120 acres, and the land the white pine had already been cut from it. So all there were stumps. And it was blow sand, but it was on a lake, a good sized lake. Probably, maybe 1,000 acres the lake was. So he owned this property, and the property had a logging camp there. And so they had a lot of buildings, and but the land hadn't been yet stumped. So and he had two boys, and had 3 other children, and 3 of the children died before he died. One of them in a logging accident where his spine was severed, and they sent him by train, laid on a flat car, to Ann Arbor, the University Hospital, and they said there was nothing they could do for this boy, and he was about 18 or 19 years old. They sent him home to live out the rest of his life. And he had a brother who was 5 or 6 years old, who they had a small little puddle of water they called a little swamp, and he fell in it and drowned. So by the time the grandfather died, 3 of his children had died. And they had 10 children. And the house was essentially the cook facility on the logging camp. And it was great big huge logs. And they had a dining room, a kitchen, and 3 bedrooms. One bedroom for 5 boys, and 1 bedroom for 5 girls, and a bedroom for Grandpa and Grandma.